Hello everyone, it's Crystal McGregor here from Tech Ready Women, and welcome to the Tech Ready Women Female Founder Showcase. I am here today with Stacey Edmonds from Dodgy or Not. How are you, Stacey?
I'm good, thanks, Crystal. How are you?
I'm great. We're just going to jump straight into these questions, rapid fire. Please tell me about your business. What's the elevator pitch, customer, solution?
Okay, so the customer is everyone who is on the internet, which is sitting around 5.6 billion people, 60% of the global population. So that's the audience. What it's about, and this is where I introduce the very light-hearted subject of scams and cybercrime. I don't know if you probably know of someone who's either been a target of a scam or the impact. I think I've had 3 dodgy emails and texts this morning. And so the problem is escalating really quickly. So last year, globally, we lost USD 3 trillion and in Australia, 3.1 billion to scams. It's so dire that the federal government has set up the anti-scam task force, which is great news because that's systems and processes and everything. However, what we know is 85% of scams, and when we fall for scams, is human error. And so we are what is known in the cyber world as the human shield. And why do we fall for them? Often people feel really ashamed after they've fallen for scams, and many of the interviews I've undertaken and all the people I've spoken to, people feel embarrassed and ashamed. Quite simply, scammers use our humanness against us. Now, what's happened since generative AI is the ability for scammers with little or no digital skill to recreate you, Crystal, and your voice and your children and your parents for free in 15 minutes or less, which is, I could do that now. There's a site where you can go, you can sign in Speechify. I can take 3 seconds of your voice, pop it into Speechify, and for a free trial, clone you and your voice.
Wow.
And so by 2030, it's estimated that most scams will be deepfake, using your loved ones' voices and images. And this is where Dodgy or Not was born in the heady summer of 2017. And Dodgy or Not was designed to help people beat scammers at their own game. Since then, it was being tested, road tested, the language, the marketing, the branding, the colors, the music on 60,000 people. We have an NPS of 9.8, 85.71% reduction in click-through rates, which is a good 10% above industry standard, and a 20% boost in user confidence. And that's really important. Confidence is really important because at the moment people are running scared. Wow. The game itself, it started with a game. Now it's so much more. It's a movement. It's a way of thinking underpinned by critical thinking. It's teaching people how to think, not what to think. That's a differentiator. The game itself, imagine a fusion of cybersecurity awareness, the swipe mechanics of Tinder, the language learning approach of Duolingo, and then the daily challenge of Wordle in the Dodgy Daily, and the addictive gameplay of Angry Birds, where you learn as you go and as you practice.
So you've been part of the latest Tech Ready Women cohort. Can you tell me some of the challenges that you had before joining Tech Ready Women and what happened as you went through the program?
I know this is going to sound like a little bit, what does it sound? I feel quite qualified, Crystal. You know, it's a product, it's proven, I'm a leader in my field. But I was just that confidence to believe, to just open doors and to ask questions, and also to have like a stamp of credibility of This has been recognized as a real thing. It's part of a program. I have coaches or mentors. And so when you look at the lack of investment in women founders and the question around confidence and capability, it really does give that help, but it also really does give the perception of that help existing. But it really does give the help as well. So it's made such a big difference to me to go, oh, I know that and I didn't know that, and be confident in what I know. It's kind of, that conscious incompetence piece, and then moving through to consciously competent.
And I know that you've had a few brag moments that have happened throughout the program. Can you share some of those with our audience?
I'm very excited. There's a new one over the weekend also. So I'm meeting with Tracy Spicer, her book around building bias of the past into the future. And we're meeting in a couple of weeks to talk about how we might build that into the bias or not experience for corporates, because of course we have harassment or not, bullying or not, ethical or not. And so meeting with her, I had a LinkedIn message actually from a AFR journalist at the weekend asking to meet and explore dodgy or not in the application for misinformation, disinformation and fake news. Again, linking back to critical thinking, which is amazing. We have pitched to, of course, the ministers from India, thanks to Tech Ready Women, which was amazing. We've also pitched to ING Direct for their internal teams and their customers, and for support for Scam Week in November 27, and also featured as a guest on the London Futurist podcast.
Wow, congratulations. That's so great. And this has just been in the last 8 weeks, right?
Yeah, and why is because I'm on the Tech Ready Women program. I'm like, I'm going to do this. Why not contact Tracy Spicer? Why not put yourself out there and talk about dodgy or not? And what I'm finding is the more I talk about it and the more we have the conversations, people are genuinely excited about it, to the point where some of the interviews I was undertaking, people are saying, oh, why don't you crowdsource this, crowdfund it? They're like, we'll do it.
Yeah. This is great. Okay, on the same track, is there anything that our networks can help you with right now?
Well, what would be really, really helpful? Look, I, after all the research I've done, and especially with UNESCO, and is around, we need to create the netizen of the future. That's what we need to do. I believe that people shouldn't have to pay for this, especially the vulnerable. This should be available to everybody. And there's amazing work already being done by the eSafety Commission and the Scam Federation. What this does is takes what already exists and puts it into a format which is easily remembered. It's like, as I said, you slip, slop, slap. So we've got 3 business models, which is your B2C, which I would love to see sponsored by the B2B2C and the B2B. And to do that, I bootstrapped this before. I have the team and the ecosystem of people, who really are passionate about this. So really it's endorsement, visibility and credibility. Endorse us, spread the word with corporates and in government to say, look, this is something we could do Australia-wide. This is something we can provide as a service for everyone. Visibility, share, and have conversations with us and connect us with someone you might think might be interested or able to help.
It has been an absolute pleasure speaking with you and hearing more about Dodgy or Not. I can't wait to see what happens in the future and follow your journey. Thank you for being part of Tech Ready Women Female Founder Showcase.
And thank you to Tech Ready Women. I can honestly say, Crystal, everyone, there's not a stupid question. You can ask any time. The support is instant. It's been a total pleasure. So thank you so much for accepting me. I had a little squeal of delight when I got the "you're in." So thank you so much.
Thank you.